Hey my friend, welcome to a new chordal lesson. So today let's talk about suspended chords and especially how to use them to create an ambient guitar mood. Just to make a quick recap, a suspended chord is a regular triad chord that uses 1, 3, 5, but we are going to replace the third with either the second or the fourth, hence why we say sus2 or sus4. So for most of us, the first chord we learned on guitar is the D chord, right? And we learned pretty quickly that we can remove the note on the first string, we can remove our middle finger to create a D sus2. And we can put our pinky on the third fret of the first string to create the sus4. So we have regular D major, D sus2, and D sus4. And sometimes it's played as embellishments like this. Right, and most of the times when you are hearing suspended chords in songs, they are used to add more tensions that is being resolved on the regular chord. So we are hearing things like this. Right, the suspensions that are being created are just to later resolve to the third of those chords, which sounds beautiful. But if we want to use that for an ambient mood, we can really take advantage of the sound of the suspended chords and lean into it, and then we can decide, we can have the freedom of creating the kind of ambient mood we want on top of that by choosing different scales or modes to play on top of that static suspended chord. So let's not play in the key of D because that's too easy with that chord. Let's say key of G major, right? So I could use a G sus2 chord like this. So that is a G sus2. We have 2 times the note G, which is the root. We have 2 times the note D, which is the fifth. And we have the note A, which is the 2, the second, the sus2 here. And I'm not playing the fifth string because I don't want to have a third in there. It is being replaced by the second. So I could take that chord here and loop it with some ambient effects to lay down my basic mood here. So I'm gonna add a drone sound, and if you don't know how to create ambient guitar drones, I have a tutorial on it that you can click here, or I listed it in the description. So let's say I play a drone on a G sus2 and I loop it. Right? And then I could play a swell on top of that with another G sus2 that I could play here. So let's say I play my bar chord on G on the 10th fret of the 5th string, like this one, this chord, right? Then I can bar it like this to make a sus2. It's the same thing as an A open sus2 like this, where you remove the note on the second string, but it's just in a bar position like this. So now I'm gonna play some swells with that to add to my mood. I'm gonna stack that on top of my drones. Right, so now I have my basic mood here. And since that mood is neutral, I can use any scales or any mode that have the root, second, and fifth, because these are the only notes in my G chord here. So any note, any scale, any mode that include all 3 of those notes could work. So I'm gonna show you some really simple scales on the top here, on the top 3 strings, that we can play on top of that. So we could play just a G major scale. So you just play 12, 14, on the third string, then 12, 13, 15, and then 12, 14, 15. So if I play that on top of my mood, that's gonna sound happy. But if I want a different kind of mood, I could play a G minor scale, like this. So now this is 12, 14, and then 11, 13, 15 on both strings. And since my chord, my G sus2 is neutral, it doesn't have a third in there. I don't know if it's a minor or a major chord or something else. I could play this mood in minor. And I could decide to revert back to major if I want. And revert back to minor. And then it's up to me. Any scale, any mode that has the root, second, and fifth could work here. So I could play, for example, G Lydian. So I take my major scale, but I just play on the second string 12, 14, 15. And same on the first string. So that little 14th fret on the second string is my sharp 4. That is characteristic of Lydian. So once again, that could work on top of that. Or I could play a Mixolydian mode. So once again, 12, 14, then again 12, 13, 15, and then 12, 13, 15 again. So that's why I chose this position, because in many cases, this is just the same on all strings. It creates a different kind of mood. So you see the point? You could use any scale. I could just do something like this. It's up to what you decide to do. So that's what I want you to try. Just play that G chord, that G sus2 chord. Loop it in any way you want. You could strum, you could make a drone like I did, you could do any other ambient effect, and then try those scales on top. Try the major, try minor, try Lydian, try Mixolydian, or any other one you would like to try. Dorian, some kinds of harmonic like I did. It's up to you to create some kind of mood. So that's something that I like to do with suspended chords. That's not the usual way to use suspended chords here. And if you want to learn more shapes of sus2 and sus4, I am showing some of them in my free mini course on spread triad. So I'm showing you some other shapes that you could use in major or minor to use suspended chords. So if you want to learn more, click on the first link in the description box and enroll in my free mini course on ambient guitar chords. All right, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, au revoir.